Don, what's up, man? Yeah, so I actually have it. I have it live on YouTube, but obviously, like we can't really interact on YouTube. I mean, we can go back and forth through the comments and shit, but not as valuable. So basically, what I do is I have like the stream set up on YouTube, but when people join the Telegram group here, they can hop in this little video chat thing live, and then we can jam from there. So I do have it active on YouTube.
Okay, cool. Drop the link in the Telegram chat so I can use it as well.
Cool, we'll do. I appreciate that, man.
No problem.
But yeah, I caught that GJ buy right there, right as the 15-minute high was broken. Basically, what I was looking at here is I was just looking at the 30-minute how this was formed. I've seen this structure a lot where if we have like a bullish, a bearish, and then a bullish candle, this bullish candle closing bigger than this one here. I've seen a lot of times where if the high is broken, it'll continue. So I'm gonna expect this to keep going, but just based on how volatile everything has been, I just wanted to secure 10 pips, put my stops at break even, and chill and let the rest run.
All right, cool. All right, cool, cool, cool. That's what's up. So, do you have a runner still, or are you completely out?
Yeah, I do have a runner. I only closed 80%, so still got a little bit running.
Nice. Seems like everybody's doing well today. That's good. That's good. Caught a nice little quick 2.3 on short on what's it called on EU myself this morning.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, yeah. I remember you were saying this is your first day back to trading New York session, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, first day, like, yeah, I didn't trade out last week, because I was really busy with work. Excuse me. But like, yeah, I was really busy with work and everything, so I didn't really really trade last week. And today was my first day back. And I was low key kind of nervous because it did play with me mentally. Kind of almost like closed it in a sense, but yeah,
Yeah, I mean, usually, I mean, the biggest thing I can say is like whenever you start to feel uncomfortable about a trade, like just don't worry about closing the full thing, but just focus on like reducing risk, so
yeah,
closing 50% or something like that, so that way,
yeah.
you're just reducing risk, but you're still letting it play out.
Yeah, so like I closed up. No, I didn't close. I had a plan that if it broke like a certain candle's high, which I typically don't do, I was gonna like try to cut it quicker because I want to work on also like because I have the skill set. What my skill set now is at like a place where I can consistently come into the markets and hit the same setup and make decent profits and money as well, but also at the same time you also want to minimize like how much you lose. Like, yeah, if I let my trade hit full stop loss, I do lose 1R, which isn't bad because like when I win, I typically hit about like 2R. So yeah,
Gotcha.
but I was sometimes I would like it to be like lose like a quarter percent or like half a percent. That would be cool too because like in the long run, I'll be even stupidly profitable.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, you're exactly right, man. That's definitely one thing I've figured out about trading is like being profitable or making making profits isn't hard trading. It's about like losing less, like figuring out when to get out of a trade, like when it starts going against you is what's hard. That's where
Yeah,
skill needs to be
yeah,
developed.
very. And also like knowing like when not to trade as well. Like yeah, like I'm looking at the setup that I just took, and if I had to grade it, I would probably give it like a C minus, C plus. Like basically, I'd give it like a C if I had to grade this trade. In all honesty,
Yeah, what were you thinking that you could have waited for another confirmations or
I feel like I could have. So like the confirmation was there, and my whole thought process was okay, trade in line with the direction because originally I wanted to buy, but I wasn't seeing like any. real reason to like really buy and kind of like counter trend the markets because if you look at it, it's just been trending down. Excuse me, it's just been trending really down. We have this big push down and like a quick instant rejection to the upside as well, showing like buyers and whatnot. So my whole thought process was at first just to buy in a sense. So that's just the first thing. And the second thing is I felt like there were levels. There was a level up top that I kind of wanted price to kind of reach, or I would have liked the previous support to kind of have reacted to it. But I just took the trade, just more so like anticipation with the trend, and also like I had 5 minute structure was in my direction, so I was like, sure, why not?
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think like based off of what you're saying, like I mean, the biggest thing is just, in my opinion, just execute and see what happens.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like that's the best way you're gonna learn. As you probably know. But in my opinion, that's like the biggest thing is just figuring out, like, executing and learning from your mistakes.
Yeah, and that's why like I tell people, especially like new traders, I'm like, yeah, when you first get into the markets, just well, on a demo account, whatever account you want to, it could be like a small personal, like a small $100 account, like just take 0.01 trades, and like just play it small and execute a bunch of times because that's the only way you'll really figure out, excuse me, what works and what does not work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, and I think where a lot of people like screw up too is, like, I definitely agree with what you're saying. Like, execute on demo, get used to like identifying setups and stuff. But as soon as like you start get comfortable on demo, like move to a live account quick. Even if it's just like $100 that you're trading, because then you got like real emotions attached to like losing that money.
And that's when you really start to figure out that like, okay, I got my strategy. I know what I'm looking for. But like now it comes down to um I need to get my emotions intact.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
And that emotion part is so much more important.
Yeah, no, that for sure. I mean, that's why like, I'm not sure. Do you know Raja Banks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know her.
Yeah, so that's like one of the big things I took away from him is the whole mindset of 1 to 2 trades a day. Like that was my biggest thing. Like when I first started trading, when I first started like getting profitable, I would just sit on the charts all day long and just try and like catch every trade. Like if I'm missing it, like I'm missing out on money, like I'm leaving money on the table. And I had to like shift that mentality away from that, because like I started to realize that I would get into like revenge trading, or I should be like getting ready for bed, and I'm fucking on the charts, or whatever the case might be, like just always like trying to look at a trade. So that was like huge for me, like one of the biggest things I've taken away from him. Man, this thing is
Yeah,
fucking pumping, holy
yeah,
shit.
bro, your runner is going crazy.
But I actually had my my take profit right here at
Oh,
five
nice.
nine one. So I mean, it got smacked, for 81 pips, like solid as hell. But it's, probably missing like another 50 pips right here. It's insane.
It's alright. It's a pretty big trade, so that's a pretty nice and big trade.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm not mad. I mean, typically I only secure 10 pips and I'm stopped out at entry. Like I would say 90% of the time. So anytime like a TP is hit, I'm always grateful. But yeah, no, this volume is insane, man. Holy.
So you I know you typically take profits like 90%, majority of your profits at 10 pips. What's your stop loss?
So typically that's a good question actually, because typically my risk to reward will be negative. Like like with a trade open, it'll be negative. So like even if you look at this, like my stop loss on this was 31 pips. And obviously that's like a little high. Like typically I wouldn't take that. But just because of how much volume is in the market right now, like there's really, you
Yeah,
really can't get anything better than that.
I
Um,
get that.
that's going to be decent. So typically like on a normal like situation of volume, I'm looking for less than 20 pip stop losses. So if you're thinking about that, it's like a negative two risk to reward,
Yeah, -2 to 1.
but I almost like never hit that. Like I always have like an exit plan to close 50%, like whatever the case might be to reduce risk. So typically it's always like a positive risk to reward once the trade is finished. Like, usually I won't like total combined after like closing partials and stuff like that. I won't lose more than like 6 to 8 pips. So, so basically like I have like, so for example in this trade, like, I told myself when I entered, okay, cool, the 15-minute high is broken. If it's going to follow the 30-minute pattern, it really shouldn't come back down into this range. So if it starts to, I'm going to close 50%. So right there, I'm already reducing that stop loss from a 30 pip stop loss to like a 17 or 20 pip, so that's kind of like my game plan. So but yeah, on a typical situation, like I'm not looking to execute on anything like over 20 pips. Over 15 pips, I'll probably reduce lot size, just so that way, I'm reducing risk that way. Like that's what I did on this trade. I just used like a half lot, compared to what I usually use. So I've been trading two lots. I just took a single lot. Um, but yeah, so that's kind of like what I've been working with lately.
No, that's pretty solid. And you're not like, I know a lot of people, they'll look at that and they'll think, that's crazy. That's a bad way to trade and
Yeah.
whatnot, like the general masses. And you're not the only person that I know that does the 10 pips. There was another guy from another book. It was called Millionaire Trader. Basically, it was like another market wizards type thing, where like somebody interviewed people who started with like 1,000 and like made millions from it in a sense. And the guy said same thing. He only goes for 10 pips, and he has like a typical 10 to 20 pip stop loss and stuff like that. And he's extremely profitable. And that's the beautiful thing about trading. Like this, like the numbers sometimes don't have to make sense, like at all. Like I'm talking about like with win rate, you could lose 20% of your trades and still be extremely profitable. You can do what you're doing, where like you have like a negative RR and still be extremely profitable. At the end of the day, as long as your equity is green, that's all that really matters.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, man. Totally agree. I mean, that's why I think the trading space is so funny because you see a lot of people like shitting on other people because of like for example, just like you said, like a lot of people look at like how I trade and they're like, "Oh, that's dumb." Like, you're leaving so much on the table, whatever the case is. And I'm like, "Look, I like if you don't like it, I don't care. Like I'm not judging how you trade. Like you do you, whatever makes us profitable at the end, like that's what we're all achieving. Like I'm not in a competition with anybody. Like I'm just in a competition with my own trading account. So but yeah, no, it's funny like how it is. That's honestly why I wanted to like put this Telegram group together, just to get people together that are in the trading space and just kind of collaborate and stuff, because I know there is so many different ways that you can execute. Like when I first started trading, like it was a lot of those like 20 to 30 pip stop losses for like 100 pip take profit. But what I started to realize though is like a lot of those moves would go into profit and then they would come down and hit my stop loss, and I was like, shit, man, I gotta figure out like how I can secure, like and make it like a risk-free trade at some point, because I started to lose a lot that way. And then I came across Raja, and I just kind of took similar things from his strategy. But that's another thing that he did early on. When I first started following him, I think I started following him in like 2017, 2018, and that's how he was, like 10 pips. That's all he wanted. Like he didn't even leave a runner, nothing. And
Mm.
so that's where I kind of like started to adapt that strategy, of just like that
Yeah,
mentality of always securing something.
yeah, because what was I gonna say? Yeah, because that it's so crazy how like when we first start trading versus like what we typically do now for like the most of us, especially like I guess now it's easier to like always find like a course or like find somebody to mimic and stuff like that. Like back when I first started, you kind of did have people who had courses and like You could mimic and all that stuff, but it wasn't like as common now. Like everybody's selling the course now, and it's just like when I first started trading, I used to like go for. I used to have like these huge stop loss going for like 160 pips, all this, that, and the third. And I see that like sometimes this is like before I even know about risk reward. I see like sometimes my trades go into my favor, and they'll either come back and break even or stop me out without even knowing that sometimes it'll go like 2, 3 Rs, trade on the daily and stuff like that. And also like when I first started learning smart money concept or supply and demand, like last year, it was really like the way that it's marketed towards you. Everybody's like, yeah, you can catch like 20 yard trades, 30 yard trades, and stuff like that, which like it is doable, and some people do it, but like to do it consistently, I feel like it's the same thing as trying to take like $100 account and trying to turn it into like $10,000. Like the amount of stress and burnout that comes with that is a lot. Like even going for like 5R at times, that can even be a lot. And I kind of figured out through trial and error, a lot of losing, to be honest. That like 2R was my sweet spot.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, that's how you got to do it for real. Just take what other people are saying, and take it how it works for you.
Mm, yeah,
I mean, at the end of the day, like there's no one way. There's no right way. So I think that's
that
um
is
that's the cool thing
yeah,
about trading for sure.
yeah. That is that's literally the beauty of it. There's always there's so many ways to like skin the cat, to be honest, so many ways, so many strategies, and like you'd be surprised like the type of money that people literally pull in from their ways that people think are absurd, but like it really freaking works.
Yeah, hell yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, like Raja, when I first started following him, he was trading like one lots, and then seen him upgrade that to like 5 lots, 10 lots, 15, 20. Now he's trading like 200 lots. I'm like, holy fuck, man. Like a couple of days ago or last week, I think it was during like FOMC or something, he made like 300 grand, like literally in a second. As soon as news hit, I was like, oh my god. But yeah, I mean, it's like it's wild, like what people do with it, how they leverage it.
It's it's really mad crazy how so like that whole like thinking really got to me like a couple weeks ago. Not got to me like in a bad way, but I was just like so amazed and like how amazing it was because it's like the money that you want or like that you're trying to be greedy for right now or like trying to chase and get after it comes so much quicker and so much easier as you level up your account size and like as you do certain things. I used to trade a 5K at my Forex funds account, and like 2R would be like $100, which at the beginning of my trading career, $100 a day was a beautiful thing.
Oh
Now
yeah.
it's just kind of like eh. But now I trade like a 15K account, and the same work that I put in for a trade, 2R, excuse me, now it gives me like $300. And I was just like, holy shit, the same amount of work that I put in, like, imagine having like a 500K account where 2R now is 10K, you know? Now I'm making 10K a trade or 10K a day type thing. And like, it's just kind of like really amazing. And it just makes like, it gives me something to look forward to. Like, I look forward to the days where I'm trading 200 lots.
Yeah.
Like, I look forward to that. And like, every once in a while, like, I open a demo account and I open a demo account, like a MetaTrader demo account, with like a huge amount of money, and I just put on like huge lot size, just to like mentally get myself prepared for the days that I do trade when I get to that stage. So like it doesn't hit me as bad, and also like I want to know the feeling of trading this much capital in a sense. Like when you're trading 200 lots, I think that's is that 20,000 a pip, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, $20,000 a pip. That's a lot to trade in one pip. Like people, like a lot of people have to work months to even, or like even like half the year or the whole year to even like see that money like on a pay stub, not even in their whole bank account. And like you have that kind of like floating in the air, like you make 20, 30, 40. It's it's really beautiful. And like when I see other people like trade with that size, like with a real account or like a funded account, it's inspirational to watch. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I get motivated by it. But I know I'll get there. Like now I trade somewhere between like 1 to 2 pips. I mean 1 to 2 lots, sometimes three, depending on like how small my size is. But like yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. Yeah, it's all. I mean, the only difference is time. You know, like when I first started following Raja, he had already been trading for a couple of years, and I was like just kind of getting into it. So, you know, that's always how I look at it too. Is you know they're achieving the same things that I'm going to be able to achieve. They're just a couple steps ahead of me. You know.
Yeah, most definitely. And I look at it like if they can do it, shoot, like nothing's stopping me from achieving it myself. You know. So like yeah, when did you start trading? Like how long have you been trading for?
I mean, I got into like the concept of it like back in like 2014 or so. Like I was trading Bitcoin, but
Mm.
not like not like buying and selling it as price goes up and
Oh, so
down.
you had like actual coins?
Yeah, so I was buying like 5 Bitcoins, 10 Bitcoins at a time, and then I would sell like point 0.1, point 0.5, and I would just like mark it up like 10% higher. And like that worked back then because there wasn't things like Coinbase or all these exchanges. So I just did it through a platform called Local Bitcoins. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, so that's kind of how I got into it, and then from there, that just got me into like the stock market and just different shit like that. Then I came across Forex. Obviously, saw like a lot of the MLMs like involved with it, and just saw like a lot of people like crushing it, and was like, yeah, I got to figure something out. So that was like 2016, 2017, I think, is like when I started depositing money and like trading from there. But I lost a shit ton at first. Like I lost probably like 20 grand my first year trading.
Mm.
But yeah, and that was just like just being dumb, just being like naive, gullible to different people's like strategies and signals. Signals was like a big thing. Like I used to like buy a lot of signal services, and
Mm.
because somebody else was like telling me to take this trade, I would like be like, all right, cool, I'm gonna full margin this bitch
I'll
and see
get
what
you in.
happens.
Yeah, you think like they know best type thing.
Yeah, yeah,
They've
exactly.
been doing it longer, quote unquote.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, it was funny because like I just got to a point where I was just like, damn, like I lost all this money, but what would happen? What would my life look like if I was on the flip side of that? Like, what if I didn't lose this? I made it. Like then that's when I started to like realize like I need to really figure this out. Like I need to learn
Yeah.
learn it myself. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, so that was like 2016, 2017 I started getting into it, but it wasn't until like 2019 where I started to really think like, okay, I can make something out of this. um,
Yeah.
but I had a couple of different businesses through that time, so I was making good money, and just depositing shit tons of money into my trading account. um, and then just within the last like 2 months or so, like I closed my business down on August 15th, just
Mm-hmm.
to pursue trading full time. Um,
Oh, nice, man.
so yeah, I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to the future.
Right. Hey, man. I wholeheartedly believe in you, and I know that you can make this work for sure.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt, no doubt for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I started. Well, I got into like the concept and the idea of trading in 2018. I learned about the stock. Like I figured out the stock market. I knew what it was and stuff like that. But like I think I bought one. Did one trade on Ears Pharmaceutical. I remember that to this day. You never forget your first trade.
Yeah, legit.
um, and I think I made $20, and I didn't touch it for like a whole while. But then I met this Lyft driver who was telling me about Forex and this, that, and the third. It kind of ended up being like some type of MLM thing, but like he never kind of like charged me for like the stuff that he showed me. I got in for free, but other people paid like $300, a hefty price for shitty lessons. And a guy that I don't know if he still trades, but like or anything like that. But he called me recently to join some conference that he was holding for trading, and I was like, nah, I'm good. But yeah, I did that, and luckily for me, I didn't have any like funds like that to blow because I was going through like a hard time in life. So like I was trading like little accounts when I got into Forex, which was 2019 March. I opened my first live account. He goes way trading GU. The first trade I lost, but on that whole day I ended up like profitable. I went green, and I took my account from $30 to like $100 within a couple of days, and then I just blew it all. Like I blew it all. Um, in less than like an hour, over trading, just going flip flop, trying to make my money back, this, that, and the third. You know, the whole spiel that people do. But like ever since then, I've kind of like I want to say like been hooked because I always believed it was real. I always believed it was only a matter of time, and like you know how the market does, you win some trades to like it kind of keeps you in a sense. So like yeah, but I want to say 2020 during the pandemic was when I took it seriously. Bought my first course. I don't know if you've heard of like Rocks FX.
No, I haven't. No.
Yeah, Rocks Academy. Yeah. So I bought it from him. This is an English guy, and like honestly, it was really great. It took some time, but I started like see like some sort of results. But I also I had like a lot of like psychological issues that like kept me out from like being profitable. Actually, like I really it didn't take me like a whole nother year to realize that like holy shit, like my analysis 9 times out of ten, not 9 times out of ten, like a good amount of times works. It's just the case that like I get inside my own head. You know, things like with greed, fear of losing, fear of just fear of being wrong and stuff. You know, keeps you out of trades, causes you to get back to the markets, little stuff like that. So like when I started figuring out that like yo, my analysis works quite well. Let me focus on like what works and stuff like that. I started learning supply and demand. Focus mostly on EU. Every once in a while, I'll trade Nasdaq, but EU is like my bread and butter in a sense. And yeah, just kind of just been grinding it out and just working. Like things, I want to say like this year, things have started to like be like really well, where I'm like more consistently profitable, especially like over the past summer, where yeah, I've been showing more consistency, and I think it's only gonna get better. I quit my job earlier this year to try to do it full time just because like I'm young and like I can do it in a sense. Like I'm 25 and like I didn't really have any overhead. It didn't work out too well. I lost all my money. I lost a shit ton of money, and that's when I had to get a job again. And I was like, okay, cool, we're not quitting. And actually, I think it was perfect because now when I go full time again, like next time around, I'll be better equipped. I'll be better prepared. I would have learned better lessons in a sense. So like yeah, that's like the shorter version of my story.
Yeah, that's fire. Yeah, no, but I mean, I was in that same position, like, just in a position where it's like, take the risk. The worst thing that's gonna happen is, I'll just get a job or something. Like that's the same position I was in. I always say like that's honestly the reason that I'm here. Like I feel like so many people like never really get to make it in like entrepreneurship or trading or whatever it is because they start a family and it's like fuck I need to make money, and then it's like fuck,
Yeah,
not only like if I lose, not only am I risking like myself, but I'm risking my family too, so like yeah, no, I always say like that's like one of the main things that I credit to why I'm here is like, I just at an early age I was just like fuck it, I'm already at rock bottom, where else am I gonna go,
yeah,
like
yeah. When you're at the bottom, only way to go is like up in a sense.
yeah,
And like, why wouldn't you want to take that risk? Cause like you never know. I mean, I understand like not everybody's like meant to take the risk or like meant to be in entrepreneurship, and I'm not like I know a lot of people like clown others like oh you should have a business, you should be doing this, that, and the third, but like not everybody's like meant for that or built for that, and that's okay. You shouldn't kind of like try to force them to like do this and the third and comply because you feel like this is like the way and everything like that.
yeah, no, 100%. No, I often say like just based on my own experience from running a business, like it sucks being number one. Like you need to.
Hmm.
I like often tell people like it's better to be an entrepreneur than an entrepreneur. Like work inside of a company that you can grow with. Something that's already
Yeah,
established. Like it's so hard to get your shit off the ground.
it's it's so hard, and like that's why I think about it. Like lucky that like I found my passion one early in age because we tend to think now with the age of social media that like in your 20s is late.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have things figured out in your 20s, like you haven't accomplished anything. And in my honest opinion, like I used to think that too, but like now it's like I feel like that's a great starting point for anything you're doing. Like if you're willing to start relationships and get married in your 20s, why not do the same thing, take the risk with like businesses or like whatever you're doing in your 20s as well, or even just like in your career in your 20s.
Yeah,
You
legit.
know?
That's what Raja says that all the time. He's like, in the like the 20s, like I just, your 20s, like you just try a bunch of different things, figure different things out, see what you're interested in. In your 30s, like take whatever was your favorite thing out of your 20s and make that your life. And by
Yeah,
40, like you'll be set up to succeed.
yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's just the day and age we live in social media where like the issue is we see a lot of like young people, especially like celebrities. Like there are so many young celebrities who like are rich because they're celebrities, and like we're like if they can be rich, we can do this too. Like if they're making this, we should be able to do this. And like I really think like that's the thing, and I feel like social media can be a depressor at times, and that's why
Yeah.
every once in a while like I stay away from it. Like I got off of Twitter for a little bit because one, the trading Twitter space can low key be toxic,
Yeah.
and also too, I just feel like it was just too much. Like I'm a guy who like yeah I like to interact with people, but like when it starts to get a lot bigger, it gets kind of like annoying in a sense. Just for me, and like sometimes I like to step away and just kind of like focus on what's really important, which is like the trading of myself. Because at the end of the day, like yeah, having thousands of followers on Twitter is cool, but like, are you? What's cooler is making thousands of dollars a day from trading,
Like Saint Cash.
literally.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, my buddy, one of my friends on Twitter, he has like a growth, like a software. It's called Tweet Hunter or something like that. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, anyways, like he's got a course and it's called Like Saint Cash. It's actually a fire ass course. It's free, but yeah, he's monetized like that whole branding behind like turn your accounts into something that generates cash, not something that generates fucking likes and retweets.
Yeah, yeah. Like if I was making money from social media, I probably would give it a little bit more time, but like also at the same, like also I just don't have it in me to like just be that person consistently posting, consistently having to interact with people. It
Yeah,
just
bro, it's
becomes a lot.
tough.
Like it just becomes a lot of work, you know. And it's just because I don't have the passion for it. I see it as like another job. Like it's actually a lot of work versus like for trading. I can sit here all day, look at these candlesticks, and be completely fulfilled and happy.
Yeah, you don't got to deal with no bitching clients, no
Hmm.
no BS. Like no, I mean, trust me, man. Like I mean, that's like the path I lived for the last 10 years. Like my whole life was on social media. Every time I did anything, I felt like I had to document it. Like
Hmm.
that's how like my business got off the ground was just my personal brand, mainly through Instagram. That's why I'm active a lot more on Twitter now, because I'm kind of like restarting over there. But I got like
Hmm.
100,000 followers on Instagram.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
but yeah, I mean, like to that point, man, like it was draining for sure. Like that's honestly why I came to the conclusion of just shutting down the business, was because I was just burnt out from it all. So much going on. Creating content every day. Trying to worry about like your image. Like there's so much involved in that. But but yeah, no, I mean, I totally understand it. Like I had a content team, um, and that's another thing is like once you start spending money on shit like that, you feel like you have to do it, and like you got people
Yeah.
relying on it type of thing. But yeah,
Nah.
it was definitely a journey, but like that's why like I was just like, yeah, screw it, like I want to go into trading full time. Like this is the ultimate end all be all, for me. Like the marketing space to me was not like my real passion. So
Yeah. No, I totally get that. Like, I 100% get that. Like, I like finance. and I love everything finance, economics, and stuff like that. But like I like the aspect of making money part of it, and then like
Yeah.
the markets part of it. I don't. I wanted to be a banker, like in another life, and before, like when I was in college. But like deep down, I didn't see myself sitting down all day, doing Excel spreadsheets, trying to crunch numbers to make other people richer or to make do other people's deals in a sense. I just wanted to trade, you know, and like it's so amazing because like it's so introverted and not introverted, but like it's really great because you don't have to worry about nobody else. You don't have to worry about paying anybody. All you just do is pay yourself. You don't have to worry about paying any clients, any overhead costs, besides like maybe like your gear or like the subscriptions to like trading view and stuff like that. But it's
Yeah.
like so minuscule to like what you can make, the potential, the caps that you can like what you can make, and also what you can lose as well. Like my dream always since I started this is to literally be at the top of a penthouse in Atlanta and just trading, looking over the city. Like that's a vision that I've always had.
Yeah, and that's so
Now you
achievable,
can't do
man.
that with any other business, and like I feel like it's harder to start other businesses. Like case in point, even drop shipping or Amazon FBA, that's hard to get started up. Finding the right products, marketing, all that stuff, really difficult. Trading is just like you open an account, throw some money in it, and it's you can literally make well not make millions, but like yeah, you can literally make millions. Might take you some time, but yeah, you can make millions of dollars from this and just clicking buy and sell, which is like I just kind of like it's really wild to fathom the time like how much you can make from this without having to ever leave your room, having to ever like speak to anybody or like tell clients that like, hey, we're gonna short this and this is why, or like have to do like in-depth crazy market research like you would like in an institution or a bank. Honestly, it's such a beautiful thing. I'm glad that I fell in love with it.
Yeah, hell yeah. No, I definitely agree, man. Definitely agree. Looks like GJ is gonna retrace a little bit. If
Yep.
I mean, I'm not gonna take any more trades, but something that I would want to see here is kind of what I was saying earlier is, support to be formed somewhere around this level
Yep.
right here, and then catch a buy up, or if that
Mm-hmm.
support gets broken, then you could catch it to continue down. But that's
Yep.
something I would look for.
I think um I think this is like a little relief um from the sell off that occurred. Actually, wait, it doesn't even look like there was a sell off on GJ.
Nah, it dropped. It took a big ass shit.
Really?
Yeah.
But that was like last week.
This was yesterday. This was like
Really? That was
five,
last night?
yeah, like 500
Oh
pips.
wow. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try not to like look at TradingView on my phone or I mean I don't have I think MT4 app MT MetaTrader being taken off the iOS was probably like the best thing for a lot of traders, including me and myself at times. So like you're not thinking of taking a trade on your phone and that'll save a lot of people money.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But like yeah, that's a pretty decent pullback.
Yeah, hell
And
yeah.
I love it because it just creates clean structure for like the push on down, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. No, I mean it moved a lot. I was looking at this and like to your point, like I'm in the same boat. I'm not trying to trade anything out of New York, like 6:30 to 9:30. But yeah, I was looking at this last night and I saw this candle close right here below this level, and I was like, oh fuck, this thing's probably about to tank. And like literally in a second, like it was like down 300 pips. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't believe I just watched that happen.
It's crazy, and like that's the part of like emotion comes into play. You're like, damn, maybe I should have gotten into that, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, those things kind of like hurt in a sense, but you gotta know that like sometimes like there's times where you'll catch crazy moves just like that. Other times you won't, and there's nothing wrong with that as long as there's nothing wrong with that, you know?
Yeah, no, for sure. No, I mean like that's the thing. That's why I always say like that was my problem early on is I never had like a real trading plan. Like I never really had rules, you know. So like, just by executing, by failing, stuff like that, like you start to develop like okay, I'm no longer going to trade an Asian session because the volume is, not consistent. I'm only going to trade from 6:30 to 9:30 because I notice at 8 a.m. every day the same move happens, shit like that, So no, I mean I definitely think like that's a big thing, like developing rules so that way, you know, when I see X, Y, and Z, this is when I take a trade. But if these are the conditions, if it's outside of these conditions, I ain't taking it. I don't really care how good the setup is. I think that's important for
Yeah.
sure.
Nah, bro, bro, having those set of rules is like extremely, extremely important. Like it saves you a lot from like taking losses that can really be avoided. Like I feel like a lot more people will be more profitable at trading if like they really follow the rules that they set for themselves. And like more so even like if you follow your trading plan and entry strategy and criteria, a lot more people will be more profitable because like people do tend to get shit right at times. Excuse my language, but like I feel like because they shoot themselves in the foot and like they self sabotage, it's what keeps them like below below their starting balance of their account and their equity in a sense. And like I was doing that too, like within the past half month, more so just because like of my situation and like the fact that like I love trading enough not to um stop trading in a sense. Like I would still keep trading, and like I was trading sessions that like weren't really optimal for trading EU. Like GJ, you can trade that in Asia session at times, but like trading EU and Asia session, just not a good recipe. Even AU at times is okay, but it's just not necessarily good. And like doing that kind of like messed up the stats and a little bit of psychology in a sense.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
yeah, but
Yeah, it's
yeah,
definitely key to know like when the market moves like for the pair you trade. Like that's fucking
yeah.
important.
Very, yeah. And trading right before you go to bed, that creates another level of anxiety. In
Yeah.
a sense. Especially when if you have like a position open.
Oh
And
yeah.
you're like,
Yeah, I can't even tell you how many times in the past I've been checking like MetaTrader with one eye open, like fuck. Oh my god, more drawdown. I'm gonna go back to sleep and
the
hope I wake up
absolute
in profit.
the absolute worst. And like it's so crazy because like at times I don't know if other people has done this or if you've done this. At times like you will dream about your trade and you're like, oh, it hit profit. But then you check your trade and it's like stop loss or like you're in drawdown. Ah, that's the absolute worst. So, like 3 in the morning, and because like well for me it's like because it's 3 in the morning, I'm not really thinking straight. I'm thinking off of impulse and emotion because I just literally dreamt about my trade and like I woke up, jumped up to check it. If it's like stop loss and like I see it setting up for another trade, I tend to enter it or whatever without like proper like analysis or like really thinking about it in a sense, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's one thing like, I've been real harsh on myself about just taking one trade per day. Like, I'm okay with losing, $200, but if I lose more than that, like I'm gonna be fucking pissed. So so, like that's been like a big mindset for me too. It's just like one trade per day, even if like, the first trade you take is a loss and you see like a better setup to execute on, like that's I've always just told myself, or like within the last 6 months or so I've been telling myself like don't execute on it. Like next time you need to wait for that trade to happen, for that setup to happen, and like that's like gotten me into a mindset to where I don't really take like too many dumbass trades anymore, just because I'm like at a point where I want to make sure it's the right trade because it's the only trade I'm going to take for the day.
No, I totally get that. I did the same thing today because I saw like you know how when you come to the markets you have that feel or that intuition at times and like sometimes it's right the majority of the times you could definitely be wrong where like you feel like oh the market's gonna push up or the market's gonna push down. Like I saw a couple positions on like NASDAQ or like EU matter of fact, where like I'm thinking, okay, today the market's gonna push up. Like, yeah, it's not on my entry criteria or why I want to enter. I could do this and the third and enter this way. But then I was like, why would I do that? Why don't I just wait for like my actual entry? Because if I take this loss, if I take this trade and I take this loss, I'm gonna be very upset and whatnot. Or I'm not gonna trade it as well as as I could if I just waited for my actual entry, you know. And that stuff like that is like some of the reasons why I'll take like stupid trades or stupid losses, trying to trade off of feelings. In the market, there is no feelings to trade off of.
Yeah, legit.
You literally have to trade off like what is there.
Yeah, legit. Legit. Yeah, no, that's for sure. Like you definitely can't anticipate or assume things are gonna happen based on what you want to see. That's why I always have like, biases for buys and sells. I always have, like an exit plan as soon as I get into a trade. Like I think like that's super important. Having like defined principles, like, okay, cool, if this happens in this trade, like you were saying earlier about your trade, if this happens, like I'm gonna close 50% or whatever the case might be. But yeah, no, I mean, you can't just sit there hoping is not a trading strategy at all. Like
Literally,
hoping is gonna hope
like
your ass to a loss.
yeah, and like a thing that like really used to like mess me up, and like sometimes I still do battle with it, especially like if I'm like in big drawdown. I don't really know why I do it when I'm in big drawdown. I feel like that's when I should be really be doing less. Is I'll try to like shoot for the moon or drop price to hell or whatever. Like I'll try to like break support and resistance, like have my target below support and resistance, where like I could just have it a little bit above and I would literally be okay and I would like win the trade or like make money and stuff like that. So like and doing that so many times and like getting burnt, it helped me realize that like, oh, okay, like this is what works for me and like I'm able to nail these targets and I'm able to do this in the third and like every once in a while, maybe like once a month, I might go for like a jugular trade. But like I don't want that to be like a consistent thing where I'm thinking like, oh, this is gonna break it, this has to break and stuff like that. Because you never know what could happen in the markets. Like, or if I do try to go for like a bigger trade, I'll take partials at times. But also like the thing for me personally with partials is that like if my trade does end up hitting my target, I make significantly less versus if I had just kept the full position open.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's something that I struggle with partials, and that's why like sometimes I don't like to take partials, just because of that aspect alone.
Yeah, and I think I mean, I think like what you might need to do is just shift the mindset from making a certain percentage or a certain dollar amount to just like, if this is a win, great. If it's a loss, great. Whatever happens. Because no, I definitely
No,
agree. Like that's definitely a big reason. Like I'll start second guessing. Like should I close partials because I'm not sure. Like this thing could keep running. And
yeah,
like in both ways. Like should I close partials in a loss? Like what should I do? So definitely understand.
yeah, most definitely. And I mean, now it's like at
Peace, bud.
times
Love you.
I don't think too much of it. In a sense, I just kind of like let my trade do what my trade is gonna do. At times. That's kind of like what I kind of did with this one. My EU trade, like there was a lot of like rejection. Like it looked like buyers were stepping in and the price might shoot higher. And like I really wanted to close, but in my mind I was like, I can't. I can't close. Not that I can't, but like I'm just like it's my first trade back. If I end up closing now with like either a small loss or a small win, and price ends up going into my target, or even if price ends up going into stop loss, I think it'll mess me up more mentally as the week goes, like more mentally, like going forward as the week goes on, because now I'm gonna start getting into the habit of doing it more consistently, like where I'm like closing more, um, closing trades with like thinking I'm getting like a smaller loss or a smaller win, and then price ends up going in my direction, and then I'm messing up and skewing my RR because for me RR works within my edge and my strategy, and yeah, like sometimes just letting price hit either like full stop loss works well for me within my strategy as well. So like yeah,
Yeah, oh yeah, the plan is everything. plan is everything.
Mm-hmm.
But word, man, I'm gonna get off of here. I'm gonna get going on my day. It's about time for me to get off the charts. Looks like
All right.
GJ is doing a
All right.
little pullback on there. So, oh, there's an alarm. Um, but yeah, so it was a good session today. Appreciate you hopping in and jamming with us, man. Typically, what I'll do is I'll run these pretty sure I'll do consistently Tuesday and Thursdays. As far as Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I hop on Raja's stream, and if he ends it early, then I'll like start start a stream. That's what I did today. He just ended it earlier, and I still hadn't taken a trade, so I started this up. But yeah, I'll keep you all up to date in the channel here when I start them up. Appreciate you hopping in, man. Have a good day.
No problem, man. It was a good conversation. You too. Take care.
Peace, Jake.